Meet Lloyd, a walking contradiction of a hero. Picture this. A boy with hair that defies gravity, eyes as wide as saucers, and a naive smile that could confuse a cat. Lloyd's the kind of guy who'd trip over flat ground but somehow do a triple backflip while doing so. Lloyd hails from Kunlun, a village so remote it's practically a myth. Growing up in a place where battling giant wolves for breakfast is considered normal, our boy Lloyd somehow concludes he's the weakest link. Bless his heart. Lloyd wants to be a soldier in the kingdom's capital. Why? Perhaps it's for glory, or maybe he just wants to get out more. Either way, off he goes, armed with nothing but pure guts and a sense of direction that would make a compass feel superior. The capital city is to Lloyd what a new planet would be to us mere mortals. He's astounded by buildings taller than trees and more people than he's seen in his entire life, which isn't saying much. Watching Lloyd navigate the city is like watching a kitten in a yarn shop, adorable, chaotic, and perpetually on the verge of a new discovery. Enter Marie, the magician who's as much a mystery as why Lloyd's village hasn't yet been overrun by those giant wolves. She's his first friend, guide, and unofficial Lloyd, wrangler. Then there's the mighty Selene, Riho the shrewd, and Philo, who's practically a sage disguised as a human. Each of them finds Lloyd's cluelessness either endearing or mildly irritating. Lloyd's like a sponge, if sponges wore boots and carried swords. He absorbs every experience, whether it's mastering the art of not getting lost or learning that money indeed does not grow on trees in the city. His progress is a roller coaster that only goes up, with occasional hilarious loops of confusion. As our chapter closes, Lloyd stands slightly less baffled than before, but still with a heart as big as his adventures. He's the hero nobody expected, least of all himself. His journey in the capital is a testament to the fact that sometimes, being a fish out of water leads to the most entertaining tales. Stay tuned for more of Lloyd's charmingly haphazard escapades, where each day is a page, turner, and every encounter is a step in an amusingly unexpected direction. Welcome to the whimsical world of Lloyd and the delightful dames who make his life a kaleidoscope of quirks and quips. Each one, a unique blend of personality and prowess, adds her own brand of spice to Lloyd's stew of adventures. First up, Marie, the magician who can probably turn a broomstick into a dragon and still make it look like an accident. With hair that flows like she's perpetually in a shampoo commercial, she's got the kind of mysterious aura that says, I know magic, but my real power is putting up with Lloyd. Then there's Selene, warrior extraordinaire. She's the embodiment of speak softly and carry a big sword. It's towering over most with a gaze that could cut steel. She's got this warrior vibe that makes even the bravest knights reconsider their career choices. Her interactions with Lloyd? Like watching a lion cub play with a slightly confused yet brave puppy. Enter Riho, the merchant with a mind sharper than her bargain deals. Standing at I'm not short, I'm fun-sized height, she's a whirlwind of smarts and sass. She sees Lloyd's naivety not just as amusing, but as a business opportunity waiting to happen. And finally, we have Philo, the sage who speaks in riddles and probably knows the secrets of the universe, but prefers to watch Lloyd figure out life one stumble at a time. Draped in robes that have seen better centuries, her wisdom is as profound as her patience with Lloyd's antics. Marie and Lloyd's dynamic is akin to a cat trying to teach a dog magic. She's the mentor Lloyd never knew he needed, guiding him through the maze of magic and city life with a mix of awe and facepalms. Selene's relationship with Lloyd is like a masterclass in how to be a gentle giant. She teaches him the art of being a warrior, and in return, Lloyd teaches her the art of not taking life too seriously. Riho, in her own unique way, introduces Lloyd to Economics 101, Capital City Edition. She's like the savvy big sister Lloyd never had, showing him the ropes of city life and how not to be swindled at every corner. Philo and Lloyd's interactions are the epitome of old soul meets young heart. Her guidance is like a lighthouse for Lloyd's sometimes wayward ship, enlightening him on matters from the metaphysical to the mundane. In the end, these remarkable women, with their distinct personalities, play pivotal roles in Lloyd's journey of self-discovery. They're not just characters in his story, they're the colorful tutors who turn his life from a simple sketch into a vibrant painting, each stroke filled with laughter, learning, and a little bit of lunacy. As Lloyd bumbles his way through life, these women are the compasses guiding his chaotic compass. Picture this. Lloyd, our hero who could get lost in a one-way street, meets Marie, a magician with enough sass to run a kingdom. They bump into each other in a scene that would make clumsy butterflies proud. Marie, with her "I've seen it all" eyes, can't decide if Lloyd is a lost puppy or an enigma wrapped in a riddle. Marie starts as Lloyd's unofficial guide to how not to be a village boy in the big city, 101. Their dynamic is like watching a magic show where the magician is perplexed by her own assistant. Lloyd's unyielding innocence meets Marie's worldly wisdom in a tango of hilarity and facepalms. Lloyd's effect on Marie is like a ray of sunshine on a cloudy day. He brings out a softer side of her, reminding her that not everything needs a magical solution. Sometimes, a good-hearted blunder does the trick. Marie, in turn, tries to inject a dose of reality into Lloyd's starry-eyed outlook with mixed results. A standout moment is when Lloyd, in his trademark style, accidentally thwarts a dire situation, leaving Marie wondering if he's a secret genius or just incredibly lucky. Then there's the time Marie finds herself in a pinch, and Lloyd, in an attempt to be the hero, ends up complicating things in the most adorable way, proving that even heroes need a little saving sometimes. Their relationship is like a comedic duo where the straight man is as unpredictable as the comic. Marie's attempts to teach Lloyd about the ways of the world often end up as lessons in the unpredictability of life, with Lloyd unintentionally turning every situation on its head. As the chapter closes, Marie and Lloyd have developed a bond that's part mentorship, part friendship, and all parts entertaining. Marie, with her magical know-how and no-nonsense attitude, finds herself both challenged and charmed by Lloyd's relentless optimism and uncanny ability to turn every situation into an adventure. Together, they navigate the chaos of life in the city, with Lloyd's innocent blunders and Marie's attempts to keep them both out of trouble, creating a story as heartwarming as it is humorous. Imagine a seasoned warrior like Alka meeting Lloyd, a guy who thinks stealth means wearing quieter boots. Their first meeting is less of a classic hero, meets mentor, and more of a "did he just walk into a tree while greeting me?" scenario. Alka, with her battle-hardened demeanor, can't help but raise an eyebrow at Lloyd's unique, let's call it, charm. Alka and Lloyd's relationship is like watching a chess master play with someone who thinks the knight moves in straight lines. Alka, serious and strategic, is baffled yet intrigued by Lloyd's unpredictable and often unintentionally hilarious tactics. Their interactions often leave Alka in a state of bemused disbelief as Lloyd redefines the meaning of unconventional methods. One memorable moment is when Alka decides to train Lloyd, a decision she questions multiple times a day. Picture this. Alka setting up a complex training drill, and Lloyd, in his inimitable style, completely misinterpreting the instructions, but somehow still managing to impress. It's like watching a cat try to herd a very enthusiastic, very lost sheep. From Lloyd's point of view, Alka is the epitome of cool, a warrior to be revered. He looks up to her with a mix of admiration and slight terror, unsure whether to ask her for an autograph or for mercy. In Lloyd's eyes, every word of Alka is a pearl of wisdom, even when she's just asking him not to trip over his own feet. The dynamic between Lloyd and Alka is a roller coaster that forgot how to roller. Alka's attempts to instill discipline and strategy in Lloyd are met with his unique blend of enthusiasm and cluelessness. Each training session becomes an exercise in patience for Alka and a surprisingly effective, albeit unconventional, learning experience for Lloyd. As this chapter wraps up, Lloyd and Alka have formed an unlikely duo. Alka, the warrior who thought she'd seen it all, finds a new challenge in Lloyd, the boy who turns every norm on its head. Their relationship is a testament to the fact that sometimes the best lessons come from the most unexpected teachers. Lloyd, with his unorthodox approach to, well, everything, keeps Alka on her toes while she provides the grounding force he desperately needs. Together, they're not just a warrior and her apprentice, they're a comedy duo with swords. Imagine a scene where Lloyd, our hero who could get lost in a broom closet, meets Celine, a warrior so fierce she could intimidate a mountain. Their first meeting is less epic moment and more comedy of errors, with Lloyd mistaking Celine for a statue and Celine wondering if Lloyd's bravery is actually just an advanced form of cluelessness. Celine and Lloyd's relationship is like a buddy movie where one buddy is a seasoned warrior and the other is, well, Lloyd. Celine's attempts to instill some warrior, like gravitas in Lloyd, often end in situations that would give a stand-up comedian a run for their money. Celine's influence on Lloyd is like trying to teach a kitten to roar, ambitious but oddly heartwarming. Her presence in Lloyd's life introduces a whirlwind of action, inadvertently turning his adventures into a mix of thrilling and palm-worthy moments. One standout moment involves a training session where Lloyd, in an attempt to mimic Celine's moves, ends up inventing a new dance genre. Then there's the time when Celine, usually unflappable, finds herself outflapped by Lloyd's unexpected and unconventional approach to solving problems, like using a sword to cut vegetables because, well, why not? The dynamic between Lloyd and Celine is like watching a high-stakes chess game where one player thinks they're playing checkers. Lloyd's cheerful naivety somehow manages to pierce through Celine's tough exterior, revealing a smirk or even a chuckle. Shocking, I know. As the chapter closes, Celine and Lloyd have established a bond that's part mentorship, part friendship, and entirely entertaining. Celine, with her warrior's wisdom and patience of a saint, finds herself both amused and challenged by Lloyd's antics. Lloyd, on the other hand, learns a great deal about strength, strategy, and the art of not accidentally toppling statues. Their relationship proves that sometimes the best way to learn is by turning convention on its head and embracing the chaos, with a few laughs along the way. Picture the scene. Lloyd, our hero who thinks budgeting is a new kind of dessert, meets Riho, the merchant with a mind so sharp she could sell sand at the beach. Their first encounter happens in the marketplace, where Lloyd is as lost as a sock in a laundry room, and Riho, sensing an opportunity, swoops in like a hawk. The dynamic between Lloyd and Riho is like watching a cat play with a very confused yet optimistic ball of yarn. Riho, with her street smarts and quick wit, finds both amusement and mild frustration in Lloyd's innocent and often bewildering approach to city life. Think of Riho as the savvy guide to Lloyd's hapless tourist. She's like a walking, talking how to survive the city for dummies book for Lloyd. Her influence on him is akin to teaching a puppy to navigate a maze. Challenging but oddly rewarding. A particularly memorable moment is when Riho entrusts Lloyd with a business deal. Picture Lloyd, in his trademark style, turning the negotiation into a scene that would make a sitcom writer jealous. Then there's the time when Riho finds herself in a pinch, and Lloyd, in an attempt to help, ends up creating a whole new problem, one that even Riho couldn't have foreseen or sold. Their relationship is a blend of Riho's cunning business sense and Lloyd's unrelenting optimism. It's like watching a chess game where one player is making strategic moves while the other is just happy to be playing with the pieces. Riho's attempts to teach Lloyd the ways of commerce often end up as comical lessons in the art of unpredictability. As this chapter draws to a close, Lloyd and Riho have formed an unlikely yet formidable duo. Riho, with her entrepreneurial spirit and knack for spotting opportunities, finds a peculiar kind of inspiration in Lloyd's guileless nature. Lloyd, for his part, learns the value of resourcefulness and the art of negotiation, or at least tries to. Their relationship is a testament to the fact that sometimes the best business partner is one who turns every plan on its head, accidentally leading to success and always good for a laugh. Imagine a scene where Lloyd, who could get lost in thought, meets Philo, the sage who probably knows the way out of any mental maze. Their first meeting under an ancient tree is less wise sage meets eager students and more confused tourist meets enigmatic tour guide. The dynamic between Lloyd and Philo is like watching a comedy where the straight man is actually a wise, all-knowing sage. Philo's deep philosophical insights meet Lloyd's surface level understanding in a tango of profound and profoundly amusing exchanges. Philo is like a life coach for a client who didn't realize he signed up for life coaching. Her role in Lloyd's life involves unraveling the mysteries of existence, while Lloyd unravels, well, generally everything else. A memorable moment is when Philo imparts wisdom about the universe, and Lloyd responds with an observation about the weather. Then there's the time when Philo tries to teach Lloyd a deep, meaningful meditation technique, and Lloyd ends up snoring peacefully, achieving a state of unintended zen. Watching Lloyd and Philo interact is like witnessing a toddler teach a philosopher the joys of simple pleasures. Lloyd, in his unassuming way, reminds Philo that sometimes the answers aren't in the stars, but in a simple smile. For Lloyd, Philo's guidance is like trying to read an instruction manual in an unknown language. Confusing, but with an underlying sense of importance. As the chapter concludes, Lloyd and Philo's relationship stands as a testament to the beauty of unlikely friendships. Philo, with her timeless wisdom and patience, has found in Lloyd a source of refreshing simplicity, while Lloyd has gained a mentor who helps him navigate life's deeper waters with a philosophical paddle. Their interactions, a blend of deep musings and lighthearted confusions, prove that sometimes the best way to learn life's lessons is by not realizing you're being taught. As we wrap up this roller coaster of a story, it's time to reflect on the journey of Lloyd, the accidental hero, and the remarkable women who've turned his life into a sitcom-worthy series of events. Each character, with her unique flair, has spiced up Lloyd's life like a chef who can't stick to one cuisine. Lloyd's relationships with each of these dynamic women have evolved like a series of comedy sketches. With Marie, he's learned the fine art of magical mishaps. Selin taught him the warrior way, which, in Lloyd's case, might resemble a dance routine more than a battle strategy. Riho showed him the commerce ropes, turning each lesson into a bargaining comedy. And Philo? She's been like a philosophical GPS for a guy who can get lost in a straight line. These relationships have transformed Lloyd from a naive village boy into a naive city boy with a slightly better sense of direction. Marie, Selin, Riho, and Philo have each left their unique mark on him, shaping him into a well-rounded character, if, well, rounded means still as clueless but with more experience. Lloyd, once the boy who would get startled by his shadow, now stands slightly taller, figuratively, if not literally. He's still the same Lloyd, but with a few more life lessons under his belt and a few more hilarious stories to tell. He's the hero nobody saw coming, including himself. As we close the book on Lloyd's adventures, he stands at the city's edge, looking out with a mix of anticipation and the usual confusion. His journey through the city has been less of a hero's quest and more of a comedy of errors, but it's his journey, and he's walked, stumbled, and occasionally tripped through it with an unfailing spirit. In the end, Lloyd's story isn't just about the battles fought or the spells cast. It's about the laughter shared, the friendships forged, and the endless capacity to grow no matter how many times you have to ask for directions. So here's to Lloyd, the hero who reminds us that sometimes being a little lost is just part of the adventure.